So doesn't actually look like anybody's joined the chat yet, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of like basic programming for a bit. Once people sort of like start shuffling in, maybe I'll give a little intro, talk about what we're doing today. But generally speaking, I'm working on these like hovering enemies that kind of just like wander around until you aggro them, and then they'll be like pew pew pew, and then move over here, pew pew pew, move over here, pew pew pew. And I kind of want them to like appear in groups. So if we get that aggro state working, then I will move on and like try and figure out like squad dynamics. Oh, cat detected. So just to give a description of what I'm doing right now, I have this enemy that I started working on. I don't have any art for it yet, so I visualized it as a teapot. This is the Utah teapot, which just makes it easy to tell like what's its forward direction and what's its up direction. And so the next step is to work on aggro. So when I get really close, it should like aggro and it should like look at me and it should start moving furtively instead of this sort of like slow moving wander that it has. So I'm testing really quickly if I can like visualize aggro by just like changing its color. That way I'll know like, oh, it turned red, it's angry. So. Everyone's definitely free to just chill. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing, or if you've like just like seen the game like through footage on social media, you can ask me any questions about it, and I can like take a break from whatever I'm doing to show anybody anything they want to see about it. So the way that I do AI in my game is I have this single handle event function that's defined for every single enemy. And then they get events that are things like, did you enter an AI state? Did you exit an AI state? Are you updating? Were you damaged? Did you deflect damage? Did you like start overheating? So And I think cooldown is when you exit overheating. And then there's also like a special state that you can enter when you're killed. Although I was thinking of changing that from a state to an event, but we'll see. So in particular, for my dingus right now, you can see he's got like a wander wait state, a wander move state. And currently what he does is like when he's waiting, he just like sets a deadline and waits for the deadline to pass. And then when he's moving, he like picks a target position and rotation, and then like sets another deadline based on how far the target is away, right? So this is just the approximate amount of time that it will take for them to get there. And then when that deadline passes, they go back to their wait state. So it's like wait, move, wait, move, wait, move. And then what I'm saying here is like, okay, if we're updating and we're wandering, but our aggro component has detected like the player, then we want to like switch to this like aggro moving state. So let's add that now. Case enemy event aggro. What did I call it? I have aggro moving and shooting. So like moving is when you're darting around and shooting is when you're shooting. So for aggro moving right now, let's just like get your target. We're going to assume for now that you're only getting aggroed by fighter pawns, which is the player. There might be a case where you like hypnotize an enemy and so they get aggroed by other enemies, but that's not like a thing we're dealing with right now. So we're just going to assume that you can only get aggroed by players. let's go to the definition of our teapot here, and I don't think I actually have aggro set up for it. So we'll just say that your aggro is a sphere. So you'll enter aggro if you're within 10 meters of the player, and you'll exit aggro if you're outside of 20 meters from the player. It's the enter and exit shapes. So let's just see. Based on what I coded already, when I get within 10 meters of the teapot now, it should like start pointing at me and maintaining distance, and it should change color. Look at that. We got an angry teapot, folks. I think probably it should rotate a bit faster when it's aggro. So I've got like a post-update event here where I convert these target positions into like actual physical positions. So now it should move and rotate faster when it's aggro. Boop. Yeah, and it's just maintaining distance by projecting away from me, so I can kind of like push it into the ground. That's kind of funny. Okay, we have a few people starting to wander in. I'll sort of like restate what I've been doing. Here's like a spawn region for these. These will be like hovering robots, but right now I'm just using the Utah Teapot because it helps you visualize the rotation like forward and up, and I don't have art for this yet. And so I'm working on aggro, which is what it does when you get really close and then really far away. Actually, I don't actually have it detecting when it's exiting aggro. So yeah, if I get aggro, whatever state I'm in, I'm going to enter aggro moving. And when I lose aggro, whatever state I'm in, I'm going to enter wander move. Wander move, when you enter it, just picks a target position in its navigation region, and then it just goes towards that target. So we should be able to get within 10 meters, it becomes aggro, and then when I go outside of that, it like loses aggro. So obviously these distances are ridiculous, right? Like that's way too close to aggro, and that's way too close to lose aggro. So let's configure those. Let's say 25 meters to enter aggro, 50 meters to lose aggro. And let's also say that you need to have line of sight to enter aggro, so it can't see you through a building. So now, okay, it can like aggro us from like actually pretty far away. Like we get here, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm shooting you. Maybe that's too much. Ah, what did I do? No, I didn't want to bring up the debugger. So let's take that down just like a pinch. Maybe 20 meters to enter aggro. 40 meters. We'll keep it like 50 meters to exit aggro. A meter, by the way, is just the size of one of these checkerboards. Can I get away? Okay. Okay, why is it actually continuing to just like move away from me though? It should be like my target position is the pawn's position. Oh, whoops. This has got to be get safe normal. It was actually just like constantly moving away from me. Okay, so I get here and it's like, oh, now there we go. It'll chase me. If I try and get close, it moves away. I go up in the air. Cool. So now we want the enemy to like actually shoot me. I think I need to assign a bullet type here. Yeah. Oh, I know what's wrong. I coded this wrong. So to assign the bullet type, I want not bullet manager, but key subclass of bullet type. I think I'm actually going to grab this spawner and leave this empty scene. Go to my city scene. It's because it looks a bit more fun. This will also give us like a little more context. There'll be more stuff for it to like crash into. So we'll say that it spawns like in this area here. So there we go. We're in the city. There's an angry teapot. Actually forgotten. Am I just not able to? Oh, that's right. I don't have a camera lock target on this enemy. Let's try and do that. There we go. You can see these are all the components I have on this. So there's the mesh, which is the teapot. There's the sphere, that's the hitbox. There's an aim assist hint. which is, you know, this is where aim assist will point you at if you have aim assist enabled. It's camera lock target, so you can like lock onto it with the camera, and there's a missile lock target, so you can lock onto it for missile lock. And all these are just at the center of the teapot, but like I could like position them wherever I want. You can also see all enemies have these standard components. An aggro component, which is like basically the range of its like awareness. And then aggro is also used to like pick targets. So if you're in like a multiplayer situation, the aggro component tracks like which player you're actually aggro to. And there's a health component. Everybody's got a health component. And then there's a slide component, represented by this, in this case, like pink sphere, which maybe you can't see unless I go wireframe. But this is basically the movement collision. So as you go around, this is the thing that will like actually crash into buildings and stuff and like not let you overlap things. So like if it actually face plants into a building, the spout will actually get clipped the way that it's set up right now. And then this is the spawner. You don't place these directly, you spawn them because eventually they're going to spawn in waves. They're not just all going to be there when the level starts. And the spawner determines like where it can move when it's like just idling. This is also where it returns to when it loses aggro. And eventually this will be hooked up into like a more elaborate nav system where there's like a bunch of wander regions that are connected by splines, and they can travel from region to region if they're pursuing you. I forgot. What was... I changed the key maps on my keyboard. I'm usually playing with the controller, but... What is my camera lock button? Spacebar. Okay. Let's test that the camera lock works. There we go. There you see. I don't have to like manage the camera as much. It just follows along. Great. So the next thing is, it's nice that it's sort of like maintaining distance, but I think what we actually want it to do, I mean, there's like some improvements I'd like to do on the maintaining distance. Probably I want it to like try and get on your horizontal level and not just like be on the outside of the sphere. That's the thing that we can fine tune later. But yep, what's up, buddy? Sorry, he yelped for attention. Is this still a light day today? Yeah, only two folks. Hey Delta, hey PM11. Yeah, but I wanted to go, like, I want him to, like, stop and then, like, take a few shots at you, pew, 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 and then start moving again. So, I think in my time utils, I added something for, like, where was it? Maybe it was in combat util? I had a thing for basically doing combos, like doing 3 shots in a row or whatever. Damage description, explosion, combat util. What's on here? Where did I do that? I think it was called like combo. I want to search the solution. I want to search the project. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the enemy tank. I think I used it in that. shot count, next shot time. Okay, I guess I didn't have a special thing for this. That's weird. I could have sworn I wrote like a special shot timer thing. Maybe I'll write one now. Let's get some of these other ones. Bullet timer, that's what I called it. Okay, this is all my bullet util, I guess. These seem like more of a general time util, but whatever. Okay, so this is for bullets that fire in bursts. Next time, time between bursts, time between shots. Current count, count per burst. Things that fire in semi-random patterns. Enable time. I guess this was for like a more complicated situation. Yeah, I think I know why I didn't use this elsewhere. I think that's like over-engineered. Okay. So let's go back to our unit here. We can actually save this scene and then pop out to go back to coding for a bit. So what we want is fgame timestamp last shot time and shot count, I guess. So when we'll say when we enter aggro moving, we're going to move for like 1 second. That's probably going to be too long, but I'll just say it for whatever. And then if deadline, when we pass the deadline, then we should go to the enemy state aggro shooting. So in shooting, we go to the shooting state, you're going to go pew pew pew, you're going to shoot 3, you're going to wait a second, then you're going to move. So let's say case enemy event aggro shooting update. I don't think I actually need last shot time, but let's see. My macro puts enemy state in for me. I need that. So we reset the shot count when you enter the shooting state. And then in the shooting state, we'll get the elapsed time. Which is just state time dot elapsed. State time is just the timestamp for when the state started. It's useful to just like have that. Now we can say like time between shots. Say there's like a third of a second. Yeah, so 1 second is like 1 Mississippi, or like pew pew pew, pew pew pew, 1 Mississippi, pew pew pew. So like total time, it's only like half a second. I think it's actually only going to be like 150 milliseconds in between shots. So the shot count is the time elapsed divided by the time between shots. Convert that to an int, which is essentially flooring it. And then we're going to take the min of this and 3, so do max 3. So then we can say while desired shot count is greater than shot count, then we're going to shoot. And actually, we only want to enter the shooting state if we have a bullet type assigned. PM Evan says EP Cat is true. He was being very active this morning. Now he's just hanging out. Yeah, buddy? Oh, I'm sorry I paid attention to you and then suddenly stopped. Brushy. Oh, everybody hearing that helicopter? Let me kill my mic for a sec. Okay, I think the helicopter's passed. Thanks, LAPD. Fun fact, every time LAPD does that, they're burning like $100,000. Here, we'll say that every time you enter aggro, you try and acquire the bullet pool. And if you have bullets and the deadline is passed, then we're going to enter the shooting state. Actually, let's go to the shooting state no matter what. But we're just going to say, like, if bullet pool let's just do that right before we shoot. I think that makes more sense. Then at least worst case scenario is not doing it all the time. So we want to spawn a bullet. Shooter's this. Position, we're just going to shoot in this test guy from my center. The direction is going to be pawn, get position. Let's see. Are they going to shoot directly at the pawn, or are they going to do a little bit of dead reckoning? Maybe we'll just say they shoot directly forward for now. That's going to be kind of dumb and easy to dodge, but we'll see. And these guys are like, what do I want to say here? I want to get the time phase. I'll make sure I'm getting time phase right. So you specify time phase, and then it's saying the spawn time is the current time plus that time phase. So I'm saying I want to spawn at the desired time, which might have been in the past. So if that's the case, then what happens is this bullet is going to spawn and it's going to immediately go forward a little bit, as though it was fired exactly at the desired time and not like the current frame time. That's like important just for like bullet hell reasons, to always get the time phase right. Because the bullet shooting times may have like sub frame rate precision. I'm going to say if the elapsed time is greater than 3 times time between shots, then we'll say there's a half-second cooldown after. It will return to its moving state. So this should be good. I don't like how much code this is just to like shoot 3 bullets. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's like, what? 132. It's only like... Oh, sorry everybody. Oh, let me mute. Goodness gracious. I don't think it should take 15 lines of code to do like a pew 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 timing with a cooldown, but you know. I've seen worse. So you see it's... Okay, it's actually not aiming correctly because it's not setting the target rotation in the aggro shooting state. So let me just redo that. And then I think I actually need to set a bullet type of this dingus. Yeah. So we'll set enemy bullet. It's the basic enemy projectile. And now I can spawn over here on this building. Should get angry. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew. So as long as I'm moving, I don't get hit. And even if I'm drifting, I'm not getting hit. So yeah, I definitely need some amount of like dead reckoning on this. This guy's not approximating things correctly. So let's do that. I'm pretty sure my aggro component has like a dead reckoning thing. No, the aggro component does. So Dead Reckoning is basically just, if you've ever played like Space Invaders, like you don't want to shoot at the enemy, you want to shoot where they will be, so you kind of extrapolate their velocity. That's what this Dead Reckoning is doing. So instead of shooting at the player, I'm shooting 0.5 halfway between where the player is and where they will be. I don't want it to be perfect, otherwise you just always get hit. Wait. What is this guy doing? Oh, the direction is actually... This is target position. Does this normalize the input? Or do I have to do that? Let's normalize the input. So I can just say target position minus get position. Oop. So he is, now he's angry, and now he's shooting at me. But it's appearing very strangely. What's happening? Do I have to normalize this? There he is. Pew pew pew. Okay, so if I'm drifting, I definitely get hit. Do you think that like 0.3 seconds is maybe a skosh too fast? Or maybe 0.2 seconds? And then aggro moving deadline. Yeah, I guess 1 second's still fine. It's maybe... Oh, let's leave those other numbers for now. Okay, so this is starting to turn into a game. I think maybe we want aggro moving. What if we set the deadline to a random number from 2 or like 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds. And then what if the target position was a little further away? 15 meters away. Okay, I think one of the issues with how it is right now is that there's no anticipation that it's about to shoot. So like I have to basically see the bullet before I dodge. So I think like we want it to like do something right before it shoots. So I wonder if I'm just gonna have it like go like it'll like wiggle a little bit. I already have it sort of like floating. It's got like a little bit of like up and down floatiness to it. But let's add if state equals enemy state aggro shooting, else function. So let's see, x squared minus x squared. Ooh, looks like that. I can do it to the fourth. That's maybe better. And then if I say 2x, yeah, okay. So my fall off function is some typos. So render pose is just like an offset that's applied to the position. So y is the sideways direction in Unreal. So we're just going to call that y equals otherwise render pose dot position dot y is 0. So now we should like do a little wiggle before he shoots me. Dog, you're not wiggling at all. Is frequency not high enough? Oh, I want this to be like 10 times 2 times pi. Whoop. Wait, my little amplitude function is like at 0, it's 1 minus 2 times x to the fourth. I saw him wiggle, but I saw him wiggle at like totally the wrong time. I'm so confused as to what's happening. Oh, he's like, oh yeah, he wiggles, and then he shoots. It's just extremely subtle and weird. Wait, but then he, oh, and then he goes like crazy afterwards. Oh, yeah, he's going crazy afterwards because it then picks up. I'm an idiot. This is the dumbest way to animate by just doing graphing calculator math, but you have these big numbers for distances like 50 because in Unreal everything is centimeters, so you're always dealing with these big numbers. Okay, so we see like wiggles and then he shoots. That's not a very good antic, right? Maybe I like scale him, like maybe do like a squash and stretch thing where he just kind of like goes burp, like burp, right before he shoots. Maybe you should actually have a line of sight on you before he shoots. So many like secondary ideas. It's kind of interesting that I can like use these buildings as cover. Yeah, let's update the spawner here. Let's have you spawn money. Spawn 3 coins. That's how my system works, right? This will make it. Yeah, cool. I think for the enter shape on the aggro, let's do a cone. Let's say that you actually got to be in front of it. You can't like aggro it from behind. And then just to test, I never like quite, but I can miss a locky, right? Yeah. Okay. Actually, I think one thing that'll help is like sound effects, right? Let's say, just play my generic shooting sound for now. This is just my like temp system for sound effects. Okay, oh yeah, that's way better. That wiggle sucks though. Let's get rid of that. I need a better antic. That was down. That was in post update. Here it is. look at my particle effects. Maybe there's like a particle, like a whoosh, like a charging up thing that it can do. I don't know if I have anything like that. Just need something temp for now. What's going on with that one? Okay, maybe when it like enters that shooting state, we'll go like whoomp, and then it will shoot. So let's add an event for that. So for events in Unreal, on actors, it's very easy. You just want to say new function, blueprint, implementable event, deployed on enemy will shoot. Will start shooting. Or we'll just say on enemy shooting antic. And then when we enter this, we'll just call it event. Hello, Netherways. Welcome to a very low-key stream. Okay. So let's open up our hover test guy. And then we added that new event, which is enemy antic. So what we'll do is we'll find that dumb magic arrow effect that was in my generic particle folder. Zoop. And then spawn emitter attached. We will attach to our mesh. We'll put it at like right out front. Then we'll play sound at location. What's a quick sound? Oh, these are editor sounds. That's not what we want. That's terrible. Here, I'll increase my Unreal audio a bit. Okay, that's a weird sound, but it should work well enough as an antic. So let's see how that looks. So now right before he shoots, okay, doing it as an antic is a little strange. I think maybe that sound is good, but I actually think the particle, we just need a muzzle flash. I think maybe the muzzle flash is good. Actually, like better than just like an arbitrary antic effect. we'll just add a muzzle flash. And that should be pretty good. I think that'll be good enough for like it'll go like before it starts shooting, and then when it shoots, there will be like flashes. So let's see, particle system. Let's find a good muzzle flash. This will look okay. Go a little slow, but I can speed it up. Where are some of the other ones? That one's pretty neat. Let's go with that one. Enemy shoot. Spawn emitter attached. It's the one we selected. Attach it to the mesh. Put it out front. And then, because these are so quick, not set layered. I'm going to set a custom time dilation. We're just going to play it twice as fast as it would normally play. And we're going to pool these, because they're going to happen a lot. Oh, that's so loud. Let me take that back down again. Okay, so it gets angry. Boop. I think I might have made that a little too fast. I think it needs to be out a little further, because the spout extends. That'll all get changed when we do real art anyway. I wonder if it's also just the speed of those bullets. What if we slowed their bullets down? Yeah, let's create a child blueprint class, enemy bullet, slower. And then for these, so those bullets are traveling at 50 meters a second. Let's say 35 meters per second. Oh, it's taking so long. My internet connection is getting unhappy. I wonder if I'm getting crowd striked. So yeah, we'll just replace you with enemy bullet slower. And then I also think when I changed the aggro to only be out front, I made it a little too conservative. Let's do it like 120 degrees. What? Oh, I think I may have made them way faster, actually. Oh yeah, 10 times faster. Okay, whoops. He was basically hit scanning me. Let's see. I do actually think I want to do a little squish on them in anticipation. We're going to go back on what I did before. So this is unit parabola. This will go from 0 to 1 back to 0. And then, so we actually want the scale. Oh, render pose. I don't actually have a... Oh, I don't scale these guys. I should just say mesh component. Set relative scale 3D. Not in the X direction, not in the Y direction. 0 is 1, that's 0.5, squish. And actually I do, actually let's say scale X is What's up, buddy? Are you getting ready to go, or are you just getting more comfortable? You high-fiving me? Hello to Uli Reanimated. Welcome to the chat. Look, we're programming. So yeah, we're gonna make this SX, SX, SZ. And when you're not shooting, this is just back to regular scale. So I should do like a funny little squish right before he shoots as well. That's a little too slow. Let's speed it up. Instead of doing it over a half second, let's do it over a quarter second. Still a little too slow. Even faster. 150 milliseconds. Okay. This isn't real art, so it doesn't have to look great. When we have real art, they'll have like an animation clip or something to play. But that's a pretty good sort of type thing. Okay, so this is feeling like pretty good. If I just sit here, I will get hit, but if I'm strafing around them, it like near misses me. Maybe they could be like a little more aggressive. Maybe I like randomize how accurate they are. Anyway, let's now see what happens if we go in here and we add multiple spawns. I think I forgot to mark up this as visualized, so let's fix that. Transforms meta equals make edit widget equals true. Okay, whoa, that's all stretched out, but that's fine. How stretched out is this? I want to like get rid of that scale. 13, 13, so 15, 15, 5. So radius should be 1500. There we go. There's it without that scale. And then we can come in here. Now we can basically move these transforms. These are all the like spawn points. So we can move these around. I can add more of them. Give them some randomized directions. Let's see what happens when there's like 8 of these. The 7th is actually the 8th one because it starts counting at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So, there we go. I've given them no squad logic, so when they're wandering, they might like be idiots and like crash into each other. Yeah, they're definitely doing that. So I need to give them like a little bit of squad awareness in this like wander state. But then when we're aggro, they're just like continuously hitting me. That's pretty ridiculous. So they need to like coordinate their shooting, right? Ugh. Well, we've made the game hard. So yeah, I should be able to get the squad by basically just being like, hey, find all the other instances that were spawned by the same spawner. Here, let me move these further apart, move them up and down a bit. Let's just look at them like without spawning the player. Let's just look at them in no clip mode and see what happens. So yeah, so they should probably, I mean, I don't want to have to worry about picking targets that we know is not going to collide with things, because that might be like a complicated geometry problem. But we can probably do some stuff where they either like slow down or turn a little bit if they're about to crash into one of their squad mates. Using the squad list rather than physics queries, I think might like make that a little bit like less computationally expensive. Because we'll need to go all the way into physics to like figure out who to avoid. And then when they're shooting, I don't want them to cluster together, so I do want them to like, I think maybe like Boyd logic. They'll like maintain distance from the player, but they'll also like Boyd around each other, so they'll have like cohesion and adhesion forces. And then in terms of their shooting, I think probably the squad should have like essentially a billboard where they like ask for that, they basically ask for permission to shoot, right? Like, and then only shoot when they get permission rather than just doing it on a timer. So like maybe like when there's 8 of them, they're continuously shooting, but it's cycling around like do 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 do, as opposed to them all shooting at the same time. Look at these little dinguses. Okay. Let's actually play again and just see how that felt again. Oh, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Oh, also, now that they have that, now that they have that cone on their aggro, I think I can extend the distance. Like, I think maybe their inner distance can go up to like 30 meters. Well, yep, there they go. They're just killing me. And they all kind of clump together. I think it might also be interesting, like, if it's close, if you're close to one of your squad mates and your squad mate is aggro, that you become aggro too. I don't know if it's hard for me, for y'all to hear me talking over the game. Let me make it quieter. It's weird how I make this like so hella quiet and it's still loud. I suppose the timing doesn't matter the way it is right now because they always miss me when I'm strafing. I need to get need to make them a little more accurate than that. So maybe instead of an accuracy of 0.5, we say 0.75. Let's add a little bit of time between the shots. And then let's add like a little bit more time between the bursts. Just for now. Once we get the squad logic in, none of that will matter. Okay, so now they hit me even if I'm like strafing around. Actually, I did this trick elsewhere. Let me try it here. I should like standardize this somewhere, but where do they have the accurate? Where are they shooting? Okay, so accuracy. Let's see the last time, the time since the player dodged. Time since dodge equals pawn less. Do I not have a function for this? Pawn last thrust time. That's what I want. Or last thrust start time. On last thrust start time dot elapsed world. So basically, when you dodge, they'll suddenly get bad at shooting, and then as time goes by, they'll get better at shooting again. Yeah, maybe we only take it down to 3.5. But, so now whenever I do like one of those barrel rolls, okay, that time I put in here is way too long. They got accurate real fast. Maybe I can like slow that down a little bit. So instead of doing it over 0.5 seconds, maybe they recover over 3/4 of a second. It's like 40 frames. Okay, these guys are just destroying me. 75 is maybe just too high. Okay, is 0.65 still like not good enough that they can't hit me when I'm going around? What if I'm closer? Okay, they can hit me if I'm close enough. Curious. Okay. I guess if they got, like if I made them closer, like if they tried to get within 10 meters of me, even being less accurate wouldn't matter because the bullet doesn't have to travel as far, right? Let me me add, let's go back here. Let's add more randomness in their shot timing. I don't like when they're getting that close. I think 15 was a good number. Oh, they're chasing me. Okay. Trying to see, like, just in this sort of uncoordinated way. Is this gameplay fun? Am I getting, is there like a strategy that I'm developing? Let's see what it's like if I'm one of the other characters. Oh, jeez. They're real not good at hitting me. It's the Falcon. But Falcon doesn't have that much health, so that's pretty good. It's like a trade-off. Okay, how about the tank? The tank is so limited in its mobility, I really wonder. Oh, that's so much easier, just because his attack is so much more devastating. Like, because the blast not only does enough damage to take him out in one shot, but it also has, like, an AoE. That's cool. I wonder if they react a little differently. They, like if they spread out more, that wouldn't be as effective. So, I think that's definitely what we need to do next. The Teapots all need to know about their squad, and they need to coordinate with their squad. Like, you know, when they're wander moving, they should, like, kind of generally avoid each other. And actually, like, right now, I have them basically just, their whole logic is just using this dampen slide function, which is like, they're connected by a critically damped spring to their target, right? Which is why they always, like, slow down and land on the target without any sudden changes in speed. I wonder if instead of like just their movement logic just being a string or a sprint, a single spring, if we combine the spring with like Boyd's logic, like they try and maintain distance from each other, but they also try and align with each other. What is it? Cohesion, adhesion, and alignment are the three forces. So, like, what if instead of just having this single spring function, we actually like computed an acceleration and accelerated them around? So let's try that. So, oh, what time is it? It's like 1:50. I do have like a hard out a little bit after 2 o'clock, so we're probably not going to get all the way through this whole feature on the stream, but I'll like maybe like start streaming again after lunch, and some like appointments I got, if this has gone in a good direction. That's why I limited it to 2 hours. But yeah, cool. So here, I'm just gonna like do a quick thing. Where we get like a list of all the other dinguses in our squad. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna get a spawner. We're gonna call it a hover test spawner. So if I don't have a squad, I'll just do the simple spring movement. But if I do have a squad, and then we know that this dingus is always spawning hover testers, so let's just add a hover test get squad mate. Might not have a like templated version of that. I feel like I should have a template. Yeah, get instance as. Oh, I've already got that. Great. this. Continue. It makes sense to have, yeah, that one's just directory. We can just say, oh, whatever. So we're going to accumulate an acceleration here. So first thing in our acceleration is the drag. Friction coefficient. From critically damped duration, cell seconds. So then we need to have an acceleration towards the target. Call that like a hook spring. Oh, did I not make a function for this? So we have drag. That should basically cause us to have a half second or like 30 frames to accelerate from standstill to top speed. Then we're going to have a thrusting force that balances out the drag at the target speed, and we're just going to like accelerate directly towards our target. Although I don't like super like this one should be more of like a spring force. Here, wait. There was like from critically damped duration. This was 4 over duration. What was the... I had a whole thing about this. Approximate spring stiffness. Calc critical spring stiffness float. Was this? I figured this out elsewhere. Yeah, omega is 2 over the duration. And then the friction, right, is 4 over the duration, right? So this one has to be, yeah, I think it's 2 times omega is the coefficient of friction. So 2 over the duration times 2 is 4 over the duration. And then I think squaring this, return W times W, gives you the spring stiffness. So we can say oh, the blaze left. Let me move the camera. You can all see my face for the very end of the stream. Hello. And then, yeah, so then here we're just going to say so plus equals k times target position minus k position. And then for all of our squad mates, we're basically gonna like just apply a force away from our squad mates. So here, let's just say like const F vector from mate equals mate get position minus get position. Oh, that's to the mate. And let's just have like a max distance is like 10 meters. This is like the influence distance. Then we say if position within get position mate get position max influence distance. So if we're not within max influence distance, yeah, so then we can like basically say like influence vector is mate to mate offset is mate's position minus get position. The like, not normalized, but offset ratio is 2 mate offset divided by max influence distance. Also, if you're like right on top of each other, I think there's like a singularity, so let me account for that. Let's see. Let's just call this the like avoid vector. It's my position minus my mate's position divided by the max influence distance. So avoid dir is just the avoid vector dot get. Oh, these are vectors, not floats. Get normal. Avoid amount. It's going to be 1 minus the avoid vector's size. Because the avoid vector is 0 when you're on top of each other and 1 when you're far away. But when you're far away, we want it to be 0 when you're close, right? And actually, we're going to smooth step this. basically... Actually, no, we'll leave it as is. Then we're just going to say Excel plus equals avoid amount times avoid direction times, let's just say 100. Actually, let me get this spring stiffness. And let's just call this K times max influence distance. So your avoid force is going to be relative to the spring stiffness. So yeah, this should cause all of them. So Incarne says the game is looking sick. Ah, thanks. Samway says, so handsome. Oh ho 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 ho. Okay, here we go. So now 8 of them spawn, but I might have got my math wrong. They might just explode here, but let's find out what happens. Let's just let them wander. Okay, they're all just, they don't even know what they're doing. What's happening? Is this too powerful? Let me, oh, I'm an idiot. Oops, sorry, it's Fabian. We talked about Demi that one time. Ah, cool. Oh, yeah! How's it going, dog? Thanks for stopping in. So they're not moving because I'm not actually applying the acceleration. Oops. So slide component. Oop. How did I do this with slide component? Did I actually expose their velocity? Pose. No, I didn't. That's annoying. I did say ref pose though. Let's use that. This is very hacky. But we can say pose.velocity plus equals Excel times delta time pose.position slide try slide with the velocity. What does this do? Oh, this sets the velocity and then it does a position slide. That's actually what I want. Actually, I did try slide with Excel. What am I doing? This is the one that I wanted all along. Excel, delta time. Looking good. Just here looking at old MapleStory vids, thinking about playing again. Oh man, that takes me back. Actually, this is like a very funny story. Sort of, but 15 years ago, I was at a game studio and we were pitching a game called Toy Box Kingdoms, and we were pitching it to Nexon, the developers of MapleStory. And the concept was like, there's 5 worlds and there's like a special dude in each world, and once you conquer the world, you can bring the dude to the other worlds, and so like they all have different powers that like interact differently in the different worlds. And like the accounts person from Nexon like heard our pitch and was like, so all the worlds are like totally different? We're like, oh yeah, mechanically like the games are like totally different. It's like, so you're gonna make 5 games and you're only gonna sell 1 game? We were like, ooh, whoa, you put it that way. Okay. So now, whoa, look at these guys. They're a lot more zippy than they were before. Oh, you know what? It's because I didn't cap out their max speed. I shouldn't have to cap out their max speed, but what can you do? Okay. Now they're all going around. And I think they're doing a better job at like not colliding into each other. They're kind of like floating around each other. Go grab lunch. I'll be lurking. Okay, dude. I'm also going to be grabbing lunch soon, but I'll probably jump onto the stream a bit later. For reference for people out there, I'm not actually adding teacup enemies to the game. This is the Utah teapot is just my like placeholder when I don't have art, because it's easy to know the like forward and up direction. Anyway, now let's see how they are when they're aggro. So because they're they're avoiding each other, that means that they're not clumping together like they were before. Oh, this is already so much better. Like, I think I do need to coordinate their shooting. But, look at this. Look at this video game. I think I can probably modulate the difficulty of these guys by just taking their health down, right? Like, they take 10 hits right now. Let's make them only take 5 hits. So we come out here. Oh shit, there's a bunch of guys. Okay, this is hella fun. This is a game. This is a game. Look at me. I'm in a city. I'm being attacked by teapots. These are going to be like space pirates. And I pick up all the money. There's 8 of them, dropping 3 each. So how much? Yeah, 24 bucks. Great. Love it. Sam says, LOL, I grow teapots. Okay. Ship it. Yeah. No, I think these guys are actually going to be like, where was it? I made these like quadcopters. So I think they're actually going to look like this. But, you know, it's still pretty fun. Look, they got little skulls on them. But I've actually, like, these buildings are not going to be, like, just checkerboard and stuff as well. Like, I've got a bunch of plans for how to decorate it. But I'm, like, trying to, like, intentionally just, like, not do art. And, like, make everything just, like, shapes and colors for now. And then, like, really dial that in. And then test the gameplay. Make sure the gameplay works. And then do, like, a big decoration pass. But I want to, like, actually, like, get this whole area working. I was kind of explaining it earlier, but there weren't that many people in the chat. This is going to be like a kind of like Katamari Damacy area where it's like you got 5 minutes to grab as much cash as you can. And so, like, you know, to the extent that, like, oh, if you blow up all the ships, then like an even bigger ship will show up, and that bigger ship will have even more money, so there will be like waves, and that kind of like stuff is unlocked over time kind of aspect to it. But also, like, oh, if you don't realize that you can fly into the sewer tunnel and then go down here and fly through this very long sewer tunnel, that you'll wind up, like, and go underneath here, you'll actually wind up inside this island, like, base that you're normally not able to access. Like, this will be gated off from the top. So you'll know there's, like, money in there, but you won't know how to get in there at first. But if you know, then you can, like, find it. But it won't be like the level keeps going until you find everything, and then everyone's like, I found everything except the star that's in the base, and I'm just gonna derp around here for 20 minutes and then give up. It's like, oh no, like, you can, like, beat the level without finding that, but if you know about it, or you figure it out, or you make a plan, then you can replay the level, and you can get even more money because you know about it, and that's just gonna make it that much better. And it also means, like, the level doesn't have to be linear. I can just put stuff in any direction, and you're like, just go, go, go. Do stuff in different places. That island is really hard with the jet, so if I'm playing as the jet, I'm just not going to go to that island, or, like, vice versa with the tank. So, anyway, this is pretty fun. I've been going for about 2 hours, and I'm, like, so hungry right now. And also, curtains closed. So it's really dark. Oh, they closed again. But, yeah, I'll probably... I've got, like, some lunchtime stuff to take care of, but I'll probably come back. Let's maybe tentatively say 4:30. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so in part 1, we set up these like teapot enemies. You can see they turn red when they notice you and get aggro, and then they alternate between like a sort of like moving state and a shooting state. Although it seems like they're continuously shooting here because like they're all syncopated. But we can shoot them down. Bada bing. Bada boom. So, and then we did a little bit of logic, like we made the physics a little more intelligent so that they wouldn't all cluster up with each other. They kind of like had some repulsive forces. So I think now what I want to focus on is not the shooting part of the aggro state, but specifically this aggro moving state. Because right now they're kind of just hovering like in front of you, and I actually want them to like dart around, right? Like I want them to sort of like move evasively, right? So they'll take some shots, pew pew pew, they'll hold on for a second, and then they'll like dart really quickly. So the way that I'm going to do that is, rather than just like setting this target position like based on your position, I need to think about this. What I actually want to do is like get their like sort of like spherical coordinates relative to you, the like pitch and yaw. And then I kind of want to like clamp the pitch, and I want to swing the yaw around so that like the angle that they make relative to you as you're pointing the camera will be like something like 30 or 45 degrees from where they started. And like maybe they'll switch from like being like below you to above you, or go from above you to below you, or they're like still horizontal with you, but they're like going around you. So that's the plan. Let's see how good it works. So I think the first thing we need to do is get their like relative to like your position. Like we wanna, I think we wanna take, I'm trying to think about this. Yeah, okay. We'll do it relative to the control rotation. The control rotation is your camera rotation. It's a little more stable than the player rotation, which can do things like spinning around, or like when a jet turns into a robot, it actually is sort of 90 degrees from its authored orientation. But the camera is always like, in order to make shooting stable, like the camera is always super stable. So when we enter the moving state, we get the fighter, and let's just get the view direction. Right upon get aiming rotation. That's what I call the function. Why do I call control rotation internally and aiming rotation externally? Who knows? But so I'm gonna say get aiming rotation. We'll say just 2 vector, 2 orientation. So we're just gonna zero out the pitch and zero out the roll for the player's aiming rotation. trying to think for a second. I think there actually is a function which is like, yeah, to yaw quad, right? That just takes the horizon and the yaw together, but it ignores the pitch and the roll. So that's actually the one that I want. So then we can get the offset. My offset is my position minus the pawn's position. These get position functions, by the way, they're like totally inlined, right? There's like no cause, there's no reason to like save those results. When the compiler runs, the code generator is just going to inline those memory getters. Uh-oh. I'm going to turn the mic off real quick. I think there's like something going overhead. Okay, I've unmuted my mic. There was like something flying overhead. It was super loud. Cool. Okay, sorry, I was just messing with my levels. Okay, so I have my offset. I usually just say off instead of offset. It's like shorter. Then I can like get that my offset local, aiming rotation unrotate vector my off local, and then we can convert this to a rotation. So then what I want to do is say like my off rotation pitch is clamp my off rotation, and actually this can't be constant, I'm going to be messing with it. I'm going to clamp the pitch from negative 45 degrees to 45 degrees. This means that if it's like directly below you or directly above you, it'll try and pick a new position that's like a little more sort of like horizontally aligned, so that they're never like directly above or directly below you, which I think would like mess with gameplay. And then for the yaw, I think we're gonna like random sign between 30 degrees and 45 degrees. And we'll call this the random yaw sign, random pitch sign. And what we'll do is we'll clamp the pitch. We'll also multiply that by the random pitch sign. And my offset rotation dot yaw plus equals the random yaw sign times the random So we've just taken the angle that it makes with your rotation and then like rotated that a bit. So now we can convert this back into a target offset, which I'm going to save that as a parameter of the class. Say the target offset is my off rotation dot vector. Then here, let's get that yaw quad again. Let's just call this the reference frame. We say reference frame dot rotate vector. And we're going to multiply that by that target separation value, which was 1500. Let's just give that a name so we don't forget what that number means. Then the target position will just be that target offset. We're not going to recompute it every frame. And then say aggro moving here. In our dingus here, let's just say if state is in the state aggro moving, basically I'm going to turn the max speed limit off so that you'll like do it faster and more furtively. Oh, I just realized I tried to do a recompile, but that won't work. I need to rebuild and relaunch. Cool. They shoot and then they move. I think there needs to be a longer cooldown after they've been shooting. I think they're moving too quickly. So let's say aggro shooting. We have a half-second cooldown. I don't know, what if we increase that to a full second? Would that be too much? Let's find out. Now these guys are looking a lot more active. They are much more actively killing me. Here, I think... Let's go back to when we were competing that target offset. I think the pitch is causing, like flipping the pitch is causing too much movement. What if we said like, if random dice roll, so we'll just do like a fixed. If they're below you, they'll pop a little bit up above you. If they're above you, they'll pop below you, but they won't like reverse like all the way from the bottom to all the way to the top. I think that will change how much they're like moving. This is certainly a lot more dynamic. Okay. Let's think maybe 60 degrees would be better. I think 45 was too aggressive. I think it's cool if they are sometimes like a little above you or a little below you. Got this like AMCA free music stream going on. I like that we've kind of hit the math rock section apparently. Whoop, there they go. They're mad again. Okay. I think that like maybe the movements are a little too extreme. What if we take the pitch offset down to 20? And if we take the random yaw, not from 30 to 40, but from like 20 to 30? Maybe this is too small, but we'll find out. Dev Ninja has joined the chat. Hello, welcome to the stream. One sec, I'm just building code right now. Okay. Is this going? What happened? No, build failed. What did I do? Yeah, let me move this dialog down where people can see it. I read a syntax error equal sign at line 1117. Oh, whoops. That should be negative. Yeah, no, just plus equals 20. Whoop, Visual Studio open. Okay, here we go. Whoa, everybody's shooting like crazy. Why Geekness has joined the chat. Hello, Why Geekness. Okay. The evasive actions have definitely made them a lot harder to hit. And I think the fact that all their shots are like totally uncoordinated means that you're basically like always being shot by somebody. That makes it pretty hard too. Especially now that they're really like with these like evasive offsets. They really are sort of like rotating around you more. But here, let's see. Can I? Oh man, I've already taken a lot of damage. This is very okay. Here, let's just do as a test. I added a special mode here where I can just spawn one instead of spawning the whole squadron and see how it feels to just fight one of them. So there's one. Okay, it notices me pretty quickly. There we go. One of them is not super challenging. But if I go back to spawning 8 of them, now we're into some trouble. Oop. Plus I'm just running into buildings, okay. Okay, I'm doing okay. As long as you, like, put some distance between you and them. Okay, I got through that one relatively unscathed. Only took a little damage. Let's see how it feels with a controller. I've been playing mouse and keyboard this whole time. So, this one's a little bit different because there's like, oh geez, there's some amount of like auto-aiming, but there's so many targets. Whew. Okay, it really is like they're hitting you from off screen, huh? Ooh, frantic. Let me try one more. And then I'll think about the best way to handle shooting. Okay, I think I'm getting a little better at this. If I can, like, strip a few of them away from the squad, it's certainly easier instead of alerting them all at once. So that's, like, some amount of strategic thinking. I can also, like, thin the crowd first. I think I am noticing. Here, let me try in 1v1 and see how hard it is using my melee attacks. So this is like, you can do like, yeah. So, is this guy just going to be too much of a pain in the ass once they're aggro to be able to melee them? I mean, yeah, they really put distance in there. You would need to like back him against a wall. Oof. Okay, I'm not giving them like any speed. I wonder, here, we have wander speed, aggro speed. What if we just increase this aggro speed to 2000? Got away with this branch here. Are they still like evasive? Okay. Is this like maybe a little more reasonable? Like they're not crazy fast? This is interesting fighting it from the ground. I wonder what it's like to fight all 8 of them from the ground. That's something I hadn't tried before, but that's interesting. It's like, hey suckers. Ooh, I'm getting hit. Okay, but I can hide behind buildings easier. So maybe I can like lure them out individually. Whoop. Okay, that's actually, you know, I've said it before, like, whoop, I missed one. Anyway, I've said it before, I feel like the advantage of the ground mode is that you can find cover and you can be more evasive. But I haven't actually had like a gameplay situation that proved that. That was always just like my theory. But I think it's actually like pretty true. Let me try. I bet I could do a run. I bet I could do a run where I don't take any damage. Let's find out. Hello, Teapots. Okay, we're going good, we're going good, we're going good. I think we've gotten like half of them. Not using missiles, that would be cheating. Okay, okay. Did we get them all? Did we get them all? Did I get them all without taking damage? Hells yeah. Hells yeah. Okay, let's take a victory lap on the train. Whew. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Great. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. How about one of the things that I did. What's this? Right, getting a notification. Some people saying stuff. Yeah, so I kind of just like strafe. This is me just constantly tilting just a little bit to the left. Is this like the cheesy strat for them? Yeah, that seems to be it. I was able to take him down really quickly without taking damage that way. Okay. So there's certainly cases that can make it easy. So I do need to think about like that kind of strategy. Like what can we do about that? I think maybe more accurate shooting in general. Let's try that. So normally our accuracy sits here at like about 0.65, 0.85. Accuracy is how much they're leading their shots. So now if I try and do that cheese strat again, where I'm kind of just like going, okay, now they're leading their shots enough that like I can't just cheese it that way. But does that also mean that it invalidates what I was saying about playing from the ground? Let's find out. Okay, these guys have gotten they're better shooters now. Oh geez, I took damage already. Wait, I gotta be true. Gotta start over. Oop, somebody's mad. Oh, there they are. Whoop. That's interesting. He was shooting into the wall. I should probably not have them start shooting unless they have line of sight. Ah, snap. There was one up there and they got me. Should I start over or should I just finish? Oh, geez. He got me from around the corner. How are these guys so smart for people who make essentially random decisions? Okay. Ooh, Oh, gotta make the game. Can't keep just playing the game. So, line of sight. I want to make sure before you agree, in this case right here, to start shooting, I want to say like, okay, you need to be past the shooting deadline and you need to have line of sight. I think I'm going to add line of sight to my aggro component because that's probably something that's like extremely common. So let's see. Okay, so they do have, there is like an aggro trace. It traces the pawn channel. So we'll call this, we'll make this like a blueprint function. Seems like something that I might call from a level script. That's what blueprint callable means. It just means that like within the level editor, you can also call this function. It'll like create all the script binding goop. So we want to say like bool calc has line of sight. And like normally you would make these like blueprint pure if they're just getters. I'm gonna go strictly with blueprint callable because these are kind of expensive and you don't want them to like accidentally get evaluated a whole bunch. And then go back to this, require LOS check here. Actually, let's have this line of sight take a if you did hit something, report what it is. Maybe they want to use that result. And let's bring that all in. And then TX. This is the actor's transform, but without scale. Great. We don't need it after. Sorry, just doing some boring coding. This is all plumbing. Okay. So let's say this checks that you have a clear line of sight to the target. Except I renamed it. So if you're aggro and you have a target, then I cast a ray to the target, and we tell you if we hit anything. We also report that hit. So now, and we ignore me, we ignore our target. Say target here. So they shouldn't interfere with the hits. It should only be hitting the environment. So now let's go back to our enemy unit, and let me just check. So if our deadline's in the past and aggro component, check line of sight to target. Let's go and give this an underscore as a name because we don't actually care about it. Actually, let's go into aggro component. Let's just add a version of this that doesn't take the argument. Because I don't know that it would be nice to get that hit sometimes, but usually we don't care to. It's just annoying to have to add another line of code for that. This should actually be not, because we want to know if we don't have a hit. Great. That's one liner, we don't need braces on that. So the engine. Okay. Now, I don't know the best way to test this, but like these dinguses should not be like trying to shoot me through the wall. Let's just eject from here and make sure that's what's happening. He is like waiting to get me. Oh, that's interesting. So he does, okay, because he's not deciding to shoot, he's not changing targets. So we should actually get some of these guys ticked off. Let's hide down here. And let's go no clip. Okay, that guy's getting me. Nope. Spawned in the tunnel. So let's hide in here and see what they do. They're all just kinda, yeah. They're all kinda trying to get at me. I think a lot of these guys are on the ground right now because their targets are actually below ground. And like the collision is just causing them to basically grind on the ground. That's something we might improve. When we choose a target, we might make sure that the target that they're trying to solve isn't actually like inside of anything. But you can see what's happening here is they're all like, they're not taking shots because they don't have line of sight. But also like they're not smart. I mean, I guess eventually maybe, yeah, this guy might like randomly pick an offset that brings him around this side. Let's see if he eventually gets me. I don't think he will though. He seems kind of stuck on collision. Oh, oh, oh. So if I come out here, they're gonna be like, oh, we got you. Zap, zap, zap. I think having them all go to that fixed 15 meters, we might say what if we let them randomize between being 10 meters and 15 meters away? Well, that's creating a lot of variety too. Oof, that actually made them a lot harder. Wait, do I need to go back to my ground evasion strategy? Oh, okay. So that takes care of most of this stuff. I think the last thing will basically be, right now they explode in midair. I kind of think it looks better if they like crash a bit. That's what we did with the jets. So let's just do that as a sort of finishing thing. Enemy state crashing. Enemy state kill extend. And we're gonna go up here. We're gonna say B. Disable auto destroy on kill 1. Then here we're gonna say case enemy event. Oh, what was it? First, we want to have an event. Enemy crashing. We want to handle when you enter the crashing state. Start crashing. The enemy jet. Yeah, and then, okay, we had an explode state. Enemy state explode. Disable. Okay, yeah, you can auto disable dropping loot. We'll skip that for now. feels bad to copy paste that much code. I wonder if there's a way to just generalize this. Like I can make an enemy util function, which is like do the normal crashy kind of stuff. Anyway, and then what did it do for the explode? On enemy exploding. Don't need to drop loot. Where does crash damage come from? Is that hard coded? Yeah. Seconds they blow up. Always gotta put braces on these case labels. Oh! We've been visited by the boy. Maybe enable a cat cam. Check him out. Activating the label. Boop! Hey, little guy. Oh, oof. So now let's look at enemy jet here. That's where I copy paste some schmids out of them into our new dev guy. So enemy crashing, enemy exploding. You were crashing, you did all this stuff, so let's do that same stuff. Camera. Spawn a missile explosion. Spawn emitter attached. everything's hidden on explode, right? Yeah, so that doesn't matter. This is actually an unrelated thing. Cool. So now, in principle, and let's make this easy on ourselves and just spawn one. I wonder why it wasn't actually moving. Oh, you know what? We've got that post update. Let's just turn the post update off when you start crashing. Shoot him down on the ground. That looks so good. Let's not do a single spawn. Let's spawn a whole bunch and see what it's like to watch a bunch of them crash. Awesome. Well, looks pretty good, guys. Feeling pretty good about it. So, I think the last thing that I want to do is basically create something like a trap treasure box. So, I want to basically say, okay, so I have a checkbox on here, which is spawner play. I can uncheck that. And now the spawner exists, but the enemies have not spawned. And so what I want to do is make basically, I want to take like a test, my test shootable. I think that's actually a prop, not a character. It's a very dubious distinction. Test shootable, here we go. Pull that into the scene. Don't know where it went. There it is. basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the middle of this spawner. Yep. There we go. That's like right about there. Look at it from the right. We're going to want it to be like right about there. Now let's open this up and let's add a property, which is like spawner to trigger. We'll make this of type enemy spawner. Make it instance editable. Undamaged. Blow up. And then here's, yeah, where it explodes. So let's change this into the sequence now. And then let's say if you have a spawner to trigger, when you explode, we'll trigger the spawner. So now you'll come here and you'll be like, oh, look at this delicious treasure. Oh, I didn't actually assign that. So then assign the spawner. I'm like, look at this delicious treasure. Oh shit, there was a bunch of guys in there. Cool. So that's pretty neat, but I think I want them all to I want them all to like flash. So like when they spawn in. So let's add something for that and say void on enemy spawned dynamically. And then here in our spawn state, case enemy event spawn enter if spawner and not spawner spawn on play, which meant that we had to have been dynamically spawned. It'll say, hey, we were spawned dynamically. I also want to say do we have the spawn time stored per unit? I really should if I don't. Last damage flash time, state time. Let's say spawn time. These guys are still being initialized and begin play, right? Then in here, we can make sure we don't enter aggro within like the first second, right? So if update and spawn time, and now it's like wait a second before actually getting aggro. Might give them like a special like dynamic spawn state, but in the meantime, let's go into our effects graph here and say enemy spawn dynamically. And then here we would play sound 2D. We're gonna want, I'm pretty sure I have like I'm pretty sure Delta gave me a spawn sound. Gonna have to make the engine sounds louder for a minute. We'll go with that. That sounds good. Spawn emitter attached. Let's find a good. I just spawned in particle effect. Something simple. No, that's not quite what I want. This one's interesting, but not quite. It's a little too long. What if I played this one and just sped it up? It's not as attached as I would like it to be. I think maybe those are world space particles. What is this thing? Go away. Anyway, let's look at, let's go back here. Look at particle systems again, find something better. Those look kind of right. Bzz, bzz. How about that one? Let's make it big. So now I shoot this thing. Add like a slight randomization, like let's say set actor hidden in game, delay, random float in range. We'll delay from anywhere from 0 to a quarter of a second. These are all a little too close together. What if it's 0.5? feel like they're all coming in all at once. Oh, that's because they are. I think maybe when this test shootable, when the test shootable is destroyed and it is causing a spawn, there should also be a like a big shockwave. Let's make it a little slower. Oh yeah, it's way too slow. Oh, 0.0. I only wanted 2/3 of a second. I'm just going to basically make sure that they all start aggro. So, instance. I think it comes down to just them, like, not all shooting. of them can shoot at the same time. What happens if we do that? We'll just add in get squad mate shooting count. Instance, get instance. Instance state. Let's just add a method here. Then when we go to start shooting here, we can say if spawner squad mate shooting count greater than 1, and just keep going. So now, let's see what happens. It should just be overall shooting. That was a little too little shooting. Shooters got shooters. they're so close now. Oh, okay. That's feeling pretty good, and I think we gotten over an hour here, so I think we're gonna leave it there. As always, you can check in twitch.tv/tinygalacticgames every Friday, usually at noon Pacific time, and I'll be streaming more development of the game. Everything goes on VOD for a week, and then I also edit it down a little bit and post it to our YouTube channel. So if you just search Tiny Galactic Games on YouTube, there's an archive of all of the dev streams that we've done. So you can see all kinds of crazy stuff that we've been working on, like a moon and a desert planet. There's this city. There's a spaceship. There's a sort of deep space wormhole. So yeah. My name's Max. This is my cat, the boy. Thanks for watching. Bye.